Once upon a time, the greatest scientist of all time, Sir Isaac Newton, was doing his work by sitting under a tree. Suddenly, an apple fell down, and he wondered why. Just on the basis of his wondering, he did lots of research on these incidents, and finally he discovered a formula for gravity. आप लोगों ने देखा होगा when astronaut used to go on like moon, they won't be able to walk. They were almost in the air because of low gravitational force. So let's move forward and we will learn step by step how gravitation works, and we will learn the basic formula which is given by Sir Isaac Newton. So let's start. So today we'll learn about Newton's law of gravitation, which is given in your textbook. First of all, I'll read the statement. Gravitational force is directly proportional to product of masses of two objects, that is m1 into m2, and inversely proportional to square of distance between them, which is denoted by d. Now I'll explain this. Here it is clearly mentioned that gravitational force exists between two objects, so we require two objects, and distance between them can be any. So it can be so much of distance, or it may be near to the objects. So for gravitation we require two objects, and there should be a minimum or maximum distance between them. The first part, which is directly proportional part, let me finish writing. So force is directly proportional to m1 and m2, product of m1 and m2, as given in the statement. Force is directly proportional to the product of two masses, which is m1 and m2. Second part, which is inversely proportional part. As we know, inversely proportional means division, so F is inversely proportional to 1 by r square. डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल सीधा होता है, इन्वर्सली प्रोपोर्शनल डिनोमिनेटर में होता है. We have seen this in previous video. So this part is the second part we are covered. We have used term as a d, so we'll also write 1 by d square. It doesn't matter, you write r or you write d, it doesn't matter. D for distance, so it will be helpful for us. So we should combine this to get a whole formula. So we'll mark this as equation 1 and this is as equation 2, and we'll write combining first and second. We can write F is directly proportional to m1 into m2 upon d स्क्वायर. जैसे कि आप सब देख सकते हो, हम लोगों ने फर्स्ट एंड सेकेंड को कंबाइन कर लिया है. यूज़ आर और डी, इट डजेंट मैटर, आपको जो वेरिएबल सही लगता है आप यूज़ कर सकते हो, मेन है फॉर्मूला. लेट्स मूव फॉरवर्ड. आई विल राइट अगेन एफ इज डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू m1 and m2 and inversely proportional to square of distance between them. Now I want to remove this proportionality sign. We have already discussed how to remove the proportionality sign. So I have to remove this sign. So what will I do? You can think and answer me. I'll show you. First of all, I have to put equality sign. So I'll write F is equal to some constant into our formula. We know this technique. So I'll write F is equal to constant into m1 into m2 upon d square. Now here this constant is represented by capital G, where this capital G is known as gravitational constant. Constant can be anything, you can denote anyhow, but specifically in this formula we have to write capital G. Here our constant is capital G, which is known as gravitational constant. So I will write F equal to capital G into our original formula, that is m1 into m2 upon d square. So we have removed the proportionality sign, and now we will see the units. We already know the units and we have studied in previous class. Force having unit Newton, m1 and m2 both are masses, so both are having the same unit, which is kilogram, and d, which is actually a distance, so it is having a unit meter. We have already covered this in previous class. If you haven't seen the video, please go through it. I'll write aside force, this is masses, and this is actually distance, so you can refer it anytime. अभी हम लोगों ने सबका यूनिट तो निकाल लिया, बट वी हैव टू फाइंड द यूनिट ऑफ g, which is gravitational constant. So here we will isolate g and will find out its unit. It's very simple. This technique also we have covered. First of all, I will write the formula, full formula, which is F is equal to g into m1 into m2 upon d square. Now I have to find out the unit of g. Rest of all I know. अभी हम लोगों ने जस्ट देखा है, तो मैं g को इसी साइड रखूँगा और बाकी को इक्वल टू साइड के उस साइड भेज दूँगा, जैसे मैंने एरो मार्क किया है. ओके, सो आई विल राइट f. अभी जब d इक्वल टू साइन के इस साइड आ जाएगा, सो इट विल बिकम मल्टीप्लाई, और जो चीज़ g के साथ मल्टीप्लाई में है, विच इज़ m1 इंटू m2, विल कम इंटू डिनोमिनेटर. सो f इंटू डी स्क्वायर अपॉन m1 इंटू m2 इज इक्वल टू g. हम लोगों ने ये पहले ही क्लास में कवर कर लिया है क्रॉस मल्टीप्लिकेशन में. सो फोर्स इज हैविंग यूनिट न्यूटन इंटू d is having unit as a meter, so it will be meter square, upon m1 means mass having unit kg, into m2 also having the same unit, which is kg, equal to g. So g finally I'll write here, so g finally having a unit which is Newton meter square upon kg square. नाउ अभी हम आप सोचो कि इस g को हम लोग हमेशा g क्यों लिखे, बिकॉज ये g का एक स्पेसिफिक वैल्यू है. सो g इज हैविंग अ वैल्यू 6.67 इंटू 10 to the power -11 न्यूटन मीटर स्क्वायर अपॉन kg square, -11. This you should remember always. So let's begin with Kepler's first law. So Kepler's first law states that planets revolve around the sun in elliptical orbit and sun is situated at the focus. In your textbook there is a term given as a foci, FOCCI, which is plural form of focus. For basic I have given word focus, but you can write foci. Now I will show you how this is work and what does that even mean. So I have a one small video in which you can see sun is at one place and the blue color is revolving around the sun in a particular shape. This particular shape is known as the ellipse or ellipse. Orbit is elliptical and the shape is ellipse. As you can see, it is not a circular, it is an elliptical form. So sun is situated at one place and the planets revolve around the sun in elliptical orbit. Let's move ahead and learn about Kepler's second law. So Kepler's second law states that every planet while revolving around the sun sweeps out equal areas at equal intervals of time. Here sweeps out means covers. So we can reconstruct the statement as every planet while revolving around the sun covers equal areas at equal intervals of time. I have one small video in which I will demonstrate to you what does the statement means. Now in this video we'll learn about this statement, how does the statement works. For that I have one video. Observe the color, it's blue and gray. It's taking 1 second for the blue, 1 second for the gray, and sun is situated at one place. So we can conclude it covering equal areas in equal interval of time, which is time of 1 second and area. As you can see, both areas are equal. Kepler's third law is the most important law, which states that the square of period of revolution, termed as a t, is directly proportional to cube of radius of planet, which is named as a small r. I will show you how to write this expression mathematically. By this time, you definitely know what does directly and inversely proportional means sign indication, and I hope you have learned about how to remove proportionality sign and put equality sign. So I will show you the mathematical expression of Kepler's third law. As you can see t मतलब कोई ऑब्जेक्ट का पीरियड ऑफ रिवॉल्यूशन, उस ऑब्जेक्ट को सन के अराउंड घूमने में जो टाइम लगता है उसे हम कहते हैं t, एंड r इज़ द रेडियस, मतलब अगर हमारा अर्थ सर्कुलर है तो उसका रेडियस. सो स्क्वायर ऑफ t is directly proportional to cube of r, means square of period of revolution is directly proportional to r cube. And here we can conclude the Kepler's third law. By this time you should know all the three laws properly and don't make any mistake in your exams while writing this law. These are so simple law and you will get so much of marks by studying these three simple laws.